again, you don't have to get under pressure because there is pressure, and then you make mistakes, and then at the end of the day, you cannot collect the money, and then the bank is not performing, and then you do not perform. So we had to kind of balance all those. So I told my team, scale and speed. I just told them, okay, now guys, you are not thinking, and we had a kind of discussion. I was talking about conflict, that conflict is normal. So we had a discussion around how to get this done, and we talked. I don't want to say argued, but and as we're doing that, you think about possibilities. Suppose we did this, suppose there are a way that helps us to deploy that. So it allows for innovation and allows for creativity. So you must allow this. Do not avoid conflict, especially if it's constructive, because it's an opportunity to challenge ideas and clarify your assumptions. And when such times occur, focus on the issue that needs to be done and not on individuals. Our focus at that point was, the issue was how do we deploy it, and things like that, okay? Then mutual accountability. Teams succeed when members hold themselves and each other accountable. Take responsibility not only for your own work, but for team success, and support each other. Every Monday I have a meeting with my exco, and it's scheduled every Monday, every working day. And in this meeting, we sit, everyone reports to the other. Last week, this is what I committed to do, and this is what I did. And people are free to critique and say, but this and the other, this does not align. And then they say, this week, this is what I'm going to do. And we hold each other accountable. Anyway, these are some of the strategy execution kind of measures. There's a process we call for disciplines of execution. So Monday, so this is how you kind of, work together and really achieve results. Trying to move bottlenecks. Sometimes when in these meetings, people submit and say, from where I work. I already talked about, I think, hinted on diversity and inclusion, and I will not go on that. And then now, like I said, I will talk about. And the first one around here is strong leadership. Even within a team, there's always everything. Your strategies, have to be there. And what is important here is to empower teams, and not micromanage. Clearing the path, okay? Just create room for people to do, and then allow them to work. And this is the last one. It's well-being and work-life balance. Sustainable performance requires attention to mental and physical health. So it should not just be standards, work, etc. and etc. When your people are healthy, they're going to think better, they're going to innovate better, they're going to be motivated, their output is going to be great. So you must balance that. You're not going to be able to make decisions, especially I have said that the world we're in is fast-paced, and that is the pace at which I expect to see everyone moving, because that is the environment that we have to have now. So people need to have space. And I say runs, team, they like to party, so it's okay. They can party, the opportunities to party, they can even go and drink the whole night, as long as, because I think there's a group that usually drinks, we know them. But if they have to be in the room at 8, that is how they restart, they recharge, it's okay. So you need to have these spaces, team building events, we usually have them within a team, where there's some financial management. You have to tell them it's okay to have a side hustle, this is how you can be supported and help. So everybody's for having to talk, almost anything and care about, their health. And I've usually seen the team rise. Like if one member of the team is not well, I've seen, people or the people that I work with really rise behind it, and everyone feels like it's their responsibility. So it's very, very important that we care about the well-being and work balance.
Tindo Brandon, representative of the head prefect in charge of entertainment, Seminary School of Kisui. I can leave you with something that I picked, is we did not come here to take part, but we came here to take over. As leaders, we are called to not only lead our fellow citizens, but not only to take part in the activities that we are supposed to, but instead take over and show them that we have
already established protocol. My name is Abroad from Mengo Senior School, and I have learned trust, whereby we decentralize, empower, evaluate, and appreciate. Thank you.
Good morning to you all. My name is Barbara Tusime, Head Prefect, Our Lady of Good Counsel. And what I've learned from the previous speaker is that as leaders, it is our mandatory to embrace open criticism in our teams, so that in every way we can create effectiveness in our leadership. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ejam Masuru, the Assistant Head Prefect, Wanyange Girls Secondary School. So I have learned that in everything we do based on emotional intelligence, we should learn to wait until things are calm and then we are settled, and then we can make decisions based on the situations that we are all facing. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Angela Pix Agero is my name, Deputy Head Girl, Toronto Girls School. From the previous speaker, I learned that you have to balance both the mental and the physical state such that you can have a sustainable and developed team. Because when the physical and the mental states are not in alignment, then your team is not going to be a strong one. Thank you.
Protocol laid out by my previous speakers. My name is William Kuzera, the Head Prefect, Leger Senior Secondary School, the School of Joy and Pride. I greet you all in the name of our Father, the Lord Jesus Christ. What we have learned today is we learn that taking on from our individual strengths is the only way we're going to build our teams. Yes, thank you so much.
And the protocol already observed. Good morning, everyone. I am Posh, speaker of Wanyange Girls Senior Secondary School. I think that Dr. Patricia really said, and it stood up to me, is emotional intelligence and the great influence it has on the impact you leave in a room, and how it's important that when you're emotionally triggered, you have to pause and react later. Thank you.
And praise the Lord. My name is Nadongo Laura Birunji. I am the choir prefect of Gayaza High School by God's grace. So what I have learned from the talk that we have just had is all these dynamics we have learned that help us to avoid burnout. Having emotional intelligence, choosing what battles to handle, what not to handle, defining the roles and responsibilities, as well as being agile and being able to adapt to change instead of resisting it. All that can help us avoid burnout, and that way we can be better leaders. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Bacha Eric, the Deputy Prefect, so called Muiri, from the previous speaker. And this comes from constructive conflict. I've learned that if there is a conflict, it gives us an opportunity to challenge people's ideas and also give our perspective about the conflict. And you may not know your perspective may help solve the arising conflict or the already existing conflict. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Atikunda Kada Clara, Head Girl from Mount St. Mary's College, Namagunga. So, what I picked from Dr. Patricia's facilitation for us, leadership is very heavy on team dynamic. Leaders guide and empower the people that they lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kistomagala, our communications manager. People call him Kizma. He prefers to be called Kizma. Our chief guest, the Lady Justice Jane Francis Abodo, and Principal Judge of Uganda. Our keynote presenter, the MD, Uganda Development Bank, Dr. Patricia Dong Jangolet, and an old girl of Toro Girls School. Toro Girls, please, you have a sister in the house. Can we recognize her on that note? Dear deputy head teachers present, patrons from the different schools, teachers and colleagues in service, all student leaders present, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. My name is Robina Chizito. By the grace of God, the head teacher at Gayaza High School. I take this opportunity to warmly welcome all of you to Gayaza High School and presenters today. These ladies are very busy. In fact, every minute I kept whispering, how much time do you have with us? How much time do you have with us? Because I know every time they are needed somewhere. Thank you very much for accepting and honoring our invitation. It is indeed an honor to host you all at this Prefects Summit, where I see not only school prefects and leaders, but also the future leadership of this country. I am very disappointed in their schools. So it starts there, and tomorrow, one of you will be the principal judge. Can you clap to that? Are you looking forward? One of you will be the MD, whether UDB or Bank of Uganda or I don't know what other bank. And one of you will be the head teacher at Gayaza High School. And one of you will be that person, members of military school. We made the presidents in the region. So, we are not only having prefects and leaders, we are having future leadership of our country. Our chief guest, when we come together like this, it is for a good cause, to mentor, to inspire, to share ideas, to challenge, to discuss the issues pertaining to leadership, because the tenets are the same. Is cultivating student leaders who balance academic excellence, create impact, and lead beyond school. So we are looking at leaders for not only today, but leadership tomorrow. What you do as a leader today should not drown your tomorrow. What do I mean by this? Learn to balance your life and responsibility. Knowing what your grades were like. It calls for you to learn how to balance your time that we are in. So it is about challenging ourselves to learn to be balanced in our responsibilities and our lives. We are glad to have 20 schools to be in attendance today. Be well seated here. This is the third summit, and I'm proud that Gayaza High School can hold this summit to inspire the leaders and to speak into their lives. We would have made it bigger, but the resource envelope for the school for now can only cater for about 400 participants. We do not charge any of these schools. We ask them to transport their leaders here, and then we do the rest. And their leaders to be part of this summit today. In a special way, can we clap for Ontari School? They were the first to arrive. That means they spent the night on the road coming to Gayaza High School. Thank you. Please, when you go back to your schools, send my appreciation to the head teachers for that. We are in place not only to guide, but to be problem solvers. Identify your problems, but give your power and energy to solutions. Don't give your power to the problem. Give more power and energy to the solution. Always be part of the solution and not the problem. As a leader, do you only present problems to your head teacher? When you have an opportunity to speak to the head teacher, what do you say? The students are saying, and then what are you saying? As Gayaza High School, our theme this year is Teach me your way, O Lord, that I may walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart, that I may fear you. It is from Psalms 86 verse 11. That's his way to know how to serve him. May the Lord bless you, and may the Lord take good care of you and never give up. I now the Lady Justice Jane Francis Abodo, Principal Judge of Uganda, to address us. Can we please stand as we receive her? And we welcome.
We are so honored to have you. I said, no, it's actually the other way around. I'm the one who is honored that I was invited. You know what it means to speak to young leaders? Yes, it's an opportunity I never let go. I have my workmates at the end of the table there. Miss Adrien, she's also a parent here. She has been a parent here for 5 years. Yes, she knows it. And when she brought it to my attention, I actually had a number of things on that day. I just put them on the side. And I said, if I get this opportunity, I don't let it go. I never let go of opportunities, which I know will change my life and the life of many others. So I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to the leaders of now, not future leaders. Yes, the leaders of now. You're the leaders of now. This is the third summit. I was so humbled when the head teacher was saying, this is actually the third one and you don't charge anything. First of all, the fact that you are even the school that is bringing together these young leaders says a lot about Gayaza High School. Gayaza High School produces, yes. Yes, to think about this summit, that people sit together, and then the choice of people you pick to come and speak. My sister Patricia, I admire her so much. If you do, it is what you do. I am very happy that the master of ceremonies actually asked the leaders to tell her speaking, because I also want to learn, because learning never stops. I want to continue learning. How do I build a resilient team? But presentation. So thank you so much, and it just showed that you are listening, and that is also leadership, that you pay attention when someone is speaking. So when you say you don't charge anything when these students come here, at least I will be making a contribution every year. Yes. I will not take my own thing. I'll be making a contribution every year. If just for the sake of Nabingo, if not anything else. For the sake of Gayaza High School, because I'm also a parent here. Yes, I mean, she got a place here. She was in Namabunga Junior? Yes, primary. So she really wanted to come here so badly when the news reached her. So I am a parent in this school. So I'll be making and I know my office mate there will not make me forget. You made a pledge they're about to do. So I will be blessing me as well. Gayaza High School really produces the best. Gayaza High School produces the best. I am not talking because I brilliant state attorney to be my PA, my personal assistant. You know, because the work, it is high pressure. You need someone who you can rely on. I took a chance on a young, intelligent, and then I learned that she studied here in Gayaza. Where is Joy? Where is Joy Kahi? She was somewhere here. Yes, she's there. Yes. So thank you for producing really brilliant minds. She has now moved with me to, she's now a magistrate grade 1 and doing very, very well. That's how you carry the flag of your school. And thank you, Joy, for being what you are. To be speaking to you today about leadership. Because leadership is not that badge. That badge there, reading able. So don't let it go by. It's that opportunity that you've been given. Because then, why are the rest not leaders? Why is it you? That's the question you should ask yourself. Why is it you? I love the several badges and the confidence. I cannot imagine myself in your shoes at the time when I was in secondary, and I could not even stand to speak because of where we grew up from. I definitely, you know that I am a Karamojong. I was bred, yes, I was bred and battered in Karamoja, meaning I grew up there, I studied there, and rise, because that's what I have done. I do not have godfathers anyway, I just have one father who is the director of life up there. That is the one I have, and I keep him in my view. He never goes out of my view. So that trust is not even lightly. It is saying that something stood out in you. There must have been something that stood out in you. It may be your character, it may be your discipline, it may also be your potential. Have you realized that he's become the principal judge? I was a minister of finance at Makerere. So you see, leadership just grows like that. You start now. Don't say that I'm just waiting for that moment. That moment never comes. That moment is now. And you should take it. Today, I want to invite you to reflect on one question. What kind of leader are you choosing to be? Or maybe, what do you want to be remembered for? Let me begin with a short story about leadership. A school had 2 prefects. Let me take these 2 prefects. You are Lawrence and Priska were assigned by the head teacher to maintain order at lunchtime. Lawrence relied on authority. He shouted out threats, demanded silence, and of course the students complied. But as soon as Lawrence left the class, chaos just came back. Then Priska took a different approach. She spoke firmly, but with respect. She explained the expectations, what she expects from them. And those who were also not listening, she did not. Could you please just pay attention as I explain this? Over time, something changed. The students began to regulate themselves. For Priska, the students just regulated themselves. And even after she left, people still maintained order. But for Lawrence, The difference is not about intelligence. It was just the approach. One led through fear, Lawrence, and the other one led through influence. Leaders are supposed to be influencers. You know, one of the students came here and said, as a leader, you must come and change things. I want to say that what it really meant was that when you're a leader, you don't come to fit in. No, you come to change things. Change things and leave it a better place. You don't come and be apologetic and just, I want to fit in. When you try to fit in, then you're trying to please everyone, that's not leadership. Leadership is that you come and change things respectfully. And that's the difference between temporary control of Lawrence and the lasting impact of Priska. So that's leadership. What does it mean? I was asked to speak about leading with impact. What does it mean, leading with impact? To lead with impact is to go beyond enforcing the rules. I know there's school rules everywhere. It means it is to shape attitudes. It is to build trust. With leadership, you can build trust. It is to live behind a standard that continues even when you're not there. Then you're leading. Leadership is, by the way, something that it is not a big thing. Don't wait for a big opportunity. It is not a big, it is just the things you do every day. Small things, small steps that you take every single day. That sums up. That is it. If you wait for the big moment, it never comes. Please be leaders. I'm just going to share 3 world leaders, respected. He's on leave for 27 years, who have come out with bitterness. He didn't choose bitterness. He chose reconciliation and led a divided country, South Africa, to unity. We see some semblance of unity now in South Africa. He led for 4 years. You've heard of Wangari Maathai, the Kenyan professor. Began with something very small, just planting trees. Planting trees. She became so world famous. It became a movement. Sometimes by the way, you don't. So how you behave, that's what I think about every single day when I wake up. Because I do not know the people I have effect on. Because sometimes you inspire without watch you. They see that Lawrence at some point relaxes the rules. They learn very fast. So please stay focused. That leadership is actually not about age. It's just about courage. Those are the 3 things I think that as a leader you must have courage to make those decisions. You don't cowardice. You don't say, I am called, let me send my deputy. Go and speak for us. No, you do it yourself because the buck ends with you. Each of these leaders teaches us the same lesson really. Where does impact? I don't know how where it came from. I think because our home was near the mission, the Catholic mission. To school. You must go to school and finish. So I had that conviction that I must go to school and finish. So I didn't even go out and say I must work. I just said I must go to school, concentrate and finish my education. Except now when I'm doing a PhD. Yes. I've never paid for my education, and you know why? Because in our primary school, there were what they used to call, you're very young, you can't know, there were books for a box. Actually, I got my first metal case when I was going to S1. And I loved it so much. I used to go look at it and then go every time that. So they would take your picture, send it to Italy, and then families would love and say, I love this P7. Then after P7, you have to find your own way. If you don't get another sponsor, you continue repeating the class. Then a priest came along and just asked, where is Jane now? They say, yeah, Jane is here. She finished P7, she passed very well. They cannot afford to go to S1. So I got stuck. Then I said, now I think it is time to go back home. And he had taken what maybe once for me. Then the sisters there in St. Mary said, no, we can pay for you, but what you do, you have to stay in the holidays and work for your school fees. I said, I have no problem. I worked. The work which was there was just bathing the dogs, feeding chicken, and the best part of feeding the chicken, where there was is it Sim or some other, but I would eat them S3, S4, and I finished. I did very well, and the sister said, you did very well, we're going to take you to the best school in Kampala. I said, where? He said, Namakunga. Yes, and I clapped. Yes. They said they're going to take you to the best school in Kampala, Namagunga. I said, yes, at least from first time in my life, I will reach Namagunga and I'll reach Kampala. You could try there. So she what? Let me just get it. I told my mom that I don't think I want. I stayed in Lira for about 3 years without going back home because I had to stay in the holidays to work for my school fees. So I told my mom, I don't think I want to continue. But the sisters were ready to pay for my senior 5 and 6. I said, I don't think I want to go back because I want to be coming back home. So they told me, no, there's a priest called Father Trudeau. He's a Jesuit. And he pays for students from Karamoja. Except they say that priest relocated from Moroto to Kampala, and they said it's somewhere in Zambia. So I said, I think I don't think I'm going to go back to St. Mary's to Hockey. So what I did was, my mom got money for us to come and to pick my admission letter from Nabingo after. It was now my first time to come to Kampala on my own. And my mom says, go with your brother, our last born. He was, I think, about only 10 years there. But you know, the Karamojong believe that a man is a man, even if they're 5 years old. The man, you know, is a man. So he said, go with your brother. He didn't have to pay because he was young. So we came. What we didn't all envisage was that when you come to Kampala, we thought that you come to Kampala and you arrive everywhere. Then I can go to Nabingo, I can go to... So, we had only transport to bring us up to Kampala. These things of going, because leadership is not only about giving direction, it's also about understanding others. Have you got some leaders who, when I'm trying to speak, they say, just keep quiet, I know what you're going to say. You're always complaining, and I know that the assignment you did, you're just, actually, you want to say that you have not yet finished it. So I know, just please, don't do that. Don't do that. How do you know? Maybe Priscilla is always a problem person, but this time, she wanted to impress you. And she was actually putting up her hand to tell you that I'm sorry for having been giving you a hard time, but this time the assignment you gave me, I have done it in time. You can see how you missed that opportunity. Priscilla will never, she will never actually even, she will not do well. She's just going to say, you know what, even if I do well, no one sees it. No one appreciates me. Have you had people who are like that? Whenever I do, no one appreciates me. Very difficult people. Yet, you as a leader, you would have saved them. There are people whom are said to be very, very difficult, but the approach how you interact with them can change them to be better people. And that's what a leader does. You're supposed to influence, you're supposed to mentor, you're supposed to inspire. So leadership is not only about giving direction, it's about understanding others. Please listen before you speak, because you can embarrass yourself sometimes. It does not require being harsh, shouting at the top of your voice. Don't you know I am the prefect? Do you read this badge? Read the badge. What is it saying? It's saying head boy. It's saying head girl. So it is not that. Number 5, what my sister Patricia was telling you is take care of yourselves. Leadership can be so demanding, it can be so draining, completely draining. Rest when you need to, seek guidance when necessary, and get support. Please surround yourself with good, positive people. I think for me, that's what has carried me through. And sometimes when you have this, when you have this leadership position, and you get to a point working with the office of the DPP as a youngster attorney, I was posted to the anti-corruption. You were fair. That's what they will remember. They will remember whether you were approachable, you know, for what is right. You were not always, okay, I want to please people, I want to please people. And one thing as a leader is that you can never please people. If you do that, you'll be so difficult, because you will never be able to please people. Consider it noise, it's background noise, because the same people who praise you now will be actually insulting you the very next minute. So check all that, let's not go into your head. Remember, one of the great writers, I think, I can't put a finger on a name, that is it. That is very, very important, because we are human beings. We're human beings, we're emotional. So people will remember how you make them feel. In closing, you've been given an opportunity. This is a great, don't just use it for leading others. Use it also to shape your own character. It helps you to do that. Use it well. I want you to lead with integrity. I want you to lead with courage. I want you to lead with, as you respect others. And above all, lead in such a way that even in your absence, don't be like Lawrence. Even in your absence, people will still be doing the right thing. Be like Priscilla, who leads with influence, who leads through respect of others, and you gain more respect by that. I want to thank you for listening to me, the great leaders of now, leaders of influence. Every time you wake up in the morning, think about things. Personally for me, I think that you have to take you to places. I thank you once again. May God bless each and every one of you.
The Honorable Lady Justice Jane Francis Abodo, who's Uganda's principal judge and previously Director of Public Prosecutions. May we rise up once again and to exercise a little bit. We've been sitting here for so right. And join our hands together to thank our guest speaker for the work he has done. Can we give her a 10 gigabyte hand clap? 10 gigabyte hand clap. And then achieve the objectives of leadership through unity. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angela Ishiriza, and I am the Speaker of the School Council. The The greatest lesson that I have picked from the address by the Lady Justice, Jane Frances Abodo, is that leadership is leaving a continuing impact. What we do now within our tenure, usually when we say 2025 to 2026, that's not leadership. Leadership is coming back 5 years from now and going in that particular position where you are and seeing if the strategies that you left are still being implemented, if your impact is still being felt. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for you to do amazing things right now and then you leave and people begin to say, oh, we wish for a time when Louise was here, we wish for a time when Angela was here, or something like that. It's making sure that you create an impact that continues through generations and you leave your mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you. I'll write on the aforementioned protocol. Good afternoon to you all. My name is Joshua Todd, and I'm humbled to be the head prefect's presentation. It was quite engaging, quite educative, and the lesson that I was able to pick out of the so many that were mentioned is that leadership isn't about the nuanced differences. Leadership is about the nuanced differences you make every day, not about that one thing you want to do at the end of the month, not that one thing you want to do at the end of the regime, but that those small things that you do each and every single day that lead up to something that is so much bigger, that creates a far much more significant impact on the students and on the school. Thank you very much.
My name Honorable Amatai Machidet from Atlas High School, the prosecutor and the center head girls. What I've learned from the previous speaker, it was all about the noise. She talked about the noise in your background. When young people, they're like, oh, this honorable is good, this honorable, she will understand. And thank you.
Second, everyone. My name is Maria Asute Mamanya, Deputy Head Girl, Our Lady of Good Counsel, SS Gayaza. So my favorite segment of the Honorable Speaker's speech was, do not choose popularity over your values, and please be firm in whatever you say. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ronald Mtebi, the Senior Deputy Prefect, Major SS. Well, I picked a lot from the speech of our guest speaker, and I have really learned a lot. But out of it all, at some point she said, start now. Many of us are looking forward to the leadership positions in the future. Let's start now. It doesn't end with the term of your service, which is the next step. 2, I learned with everything we do, you have to lead with faith in God. For if you have faith in God, everything will move just by the way you want it, with the guidance of the Holy Spirit.
Good afternoon, everyone. So it's a pleasure having been invited here. And personally, my name is Waske Ezra, and I'm the head boy of my career college school. I know I'm one of a kind, the shortest, the youngest, but what I learned today was you need to be courageous. That's one of the qualities I've learned, and it's one of the qualities that kept me moving in the school. Because personally, when I was
exactly established protocol, all the dignified dignitaries, good afternoon. My name is Bonde Joga. I'm representing the Hill of Intellectual Horizons, established at the highest point between Jinja and Tororo, at Kisogabon in Muru. So, I've learned a variety of things from what the lady just said. And specifically, I want to talk about 2 things. she said that as a leader, there is a certain standard that you set for yourself. And I'm not surprised because as prefects of the school, our school, we have the theme of our regime is raising for yourself a standard and living up to it. It's not by coincidence, I guess. Yeah.
What I've learned from the previous speaker's speech was leadership is a responsibility and opportunity for making a difference. And also I learned that opportunities come once, so don't miss out the opportunities that you get. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Akano Jirana. I'm the President Students Council of the Gayaza School. Personally, I believe whatever the Lady Justice spoke, we already knew because we are already leaders, but we needed to be reminded. And our headmistress, such as Janet says, the Gayaza ladies, we do not fit in, we stand out. So, taking from her points, in order to leave an impact, you have to have conviction. And to have conviction, you have to be very, very strong, mentally and physically. So that's what I needed to be reminded of, because personally, I'm not saying we didn't have the knowledge, but we already knew, but thank you for reminding us.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Valeria Tsabomo, the Vice President Students Council, Trinity College Nambingo. Firstly, allow me to thank everyone who has come here. Thank you all for coming, and it's an honor to be able to know that I studied from the school where a chief guest once walked. And yes, and I will still remember her. From a lady of substance to the Lady Justice, the irony is profound. So one thing that really stood out for me is she did not mention it directly, but it's remembering where you're from, because it will help you show where you are going. She did not start with the brightest future. Everything might not have presented opportunities for her to be where she is right now, but the fact that she kept that in mind, it helped her know where she wanted to be, where she wanted to go. And to all of you here, you may not be the brightest, you may not be the smartest, you may not be the sports girl, you may not be the prettiest, you may not be everything incomplete, but what do you do? What do you do that makes the impact in other people's lives?
I'd like to first begin by thanking the guest speaker for that wonderful presentation. We really do not take it for granted. My various institutions, because we do know right now in this hall or at our respective schools, we all come from different backgrounds, have different religious affiliations, different cultural affiliations, different beliefs, different values, individual differences, such that we can achieve a common goal and make a lasting impact. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Ashawa Diana, Deputy Head Counselor of Discipline by 90 Girls Senior Secondary School. Yeah, I take this opportunity, first of all, to really thank you for really inviting us to such an impressive session, very educative. We really do not take it for granted. So I really learned a lot from what Honorable Jane Francis talked about. But what really stood out for me is that we really have to choose between popularity and earning respect. Popularity we have to choose between popularity and our principles. We either choose to be popular and end up being disrespected, or we choose our principles and we are respected and trusted. Yeah, personally, that's